Okay, so the first thing we looked at entering we've set up our customers, our suppliers, our products. We have entered a couple of invoices and we've entered our opening capital. Okay, so the next thing we will do is enter purchases. So we are going to buy some purchases or some products off of our customers or off of our suppliers. So to do that, we go in here into suppliers and we choose batch invoice. So the difference between this is we're just entering them one after another on the screen. So we're going to say from the ESB on the 1st of the 9th, sorry, from the ESB on the 1st of the 9th, 25, we 7285, I think it was 7582. Yeah, 7582. We purchased EA electricity from the ESB, net amount of, we'll say, €1,500. The VAT on this is going to be T13, so it's reduced VAT on, so it's goods not for resale at 13.5%. So okay, and the VAT appears here. So it was 1,500 net, VAT of 202, and total amount. From Bob's books on the 6th of the 9th, 25, reference 5,000, so that's materials purchased. Unless I specifically tell you to change the nominal code, you let things default into 5,000. It's just purchases. So we bought €15,000 worth of goods from Bob. They're goods that we're buying in to resell on in our business, so T1 is fine. We'll do another one for Bob on the 16th of September. Again, 5,000, it's fine, and we'll do this one for 4,500. Okay, so you can keep going down. If you make a mistake, you can click on it and say remove row. If you make an absolute mess, you can clear the form. But it won't, if you've clicked down here and don't enter any data, or enter some data and then try and save it, it doesn't like that. Okay. So now you see it doesn't show the invoices to Bob one after another. It shows them all cumulatively. So during the month, these are the transactions we had with Bob. If you can't remember, if you've entered an individual transaction, you can click on it and say activity, and it will show you the two invoices that we entered. Okay. So that's them in there. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to go down to make some payments to our suppliers and hopefully get some money in from our customers. So to do that, we are going to bank accounts. And we are going to deal with the money that has come in from our customers. So if we go up here and say, click on bank account and say customer receipt. So there are two things that you have to deal with first, the cash sale and the credit note. So if I query the cash sale account, I see that I had two transactions from our cash sale customer. So I need to say that money physically came in on the day because the person didn't leave my shop without paying me. So I can pop in here the day that the money came in. So on the 1st of the 9th, 2025, I had a reference of cash sale, number 3. Okay, so I'm picking up the number 3 from here. Now enter your cash sales one at a time, because otherwise it groups them on your bank statement and it just makes it a little bit more difficult to find them because they did come in on different days. So enter them separately. So the amount here was 2952 and I'm popping in 2952 against this line. Okay, and save. Okay, so please enter your cash sales separately. Again, query cash sale. The reference is cash sale number 6. The amount is 2553.75. So I'm just taking that from this here because it would have been paid in full, and click 2553.75 and save. Okay. Now I need to query, and you can see in my bank account here, I now have 85,000 euros. If I query my other customer, I see here that we had a couple of transactions with them during the month. So we had sales invoices, and we also had a sales credit. So sales invoice, sales credit, SISC. So I need to deal with the sales credit note. So the sales credit note was on the 8th of the 9th, 2025. So I can say credit note 9, and I'm just picking up the 9 from here. So credit note 9, and the amount was for 11808. And if I come down here to the receipt line, I see 11808, and I then also need to put it against one of the invoices because I have a minus here and I can't have a minus. Now, based on dates, I'm saying, either of those, would work, but I'm just going with the earliest. My analysis total is now down to 0, and I can save. Sorry, I'm just going to, actually, this drives it mad when that's here. So I'm just going to leave that amount as 0 for this, for the credit note, and save and close. Now, I'm just going to check my bank account. I'm seeing there's my 2. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so those are the customer receipts. Now, deal with those first. Deal with your credit note and your cash sale before you deal with anything else. So in our business, we subsequently got money in from Laois Offaly ETB. They paid us 2,000 euros. So I'm going in again to customer receipt. I'm going to query Laois Offaly ETB. They paid me what we'll say 1,500, just for argument's sake, on the 15th of September. So just say payment received, and I can just pop in my 1,500 euros here and save. Okay. And again, my bank account has gone up, and all of my, now they still owe me money, but they have paid something off of their account. The next thing that I want to do is I want to deal with payments that I made to my suppliers. So I just want to double check within my suppliers, I didn't enter a credit note. So I'll do a credit note with as just to show it. So back into suppliers and batch credit. And we had a credit note with Bob, and we'll say on the 15th of the 9th, 2025, materials purchased, I returned back 180 euros worth of goods to Bob. Okay, so save. Again, it doesn't show separate. It's included in the running balance, but just it's in there. Again, you can see it by looking at the activity. You see 2 purchase invoices and 1 purchase credit. So back to our bank accounts now, and we're going to deal with making payments to our suppliers. So we click on supplier payment, and we're making these payments out of our bank account, so out of 1200. So I'm just going to query Bob, and I'll see all of the activity that I had with Bob. So on the 15th of the 9th, 25, I had a purchase credit note 16. And come down in the exact same way as we did with the sales credit note. I come down to the line here that shows the credit note, so 22140, and I go to one of the other lines because I have a minus now. I go to the one of the other lines and I pop in the same amount and save. Okay, so you have to go to the line receipted or payment for the amount of the value of the credit note, and then allocate it against one of the outstanding invoices and save. Okay. Then we also need to deal with any other supplier payments that we made. So go back into supplier payment again, and I'm going to query the ESB, and I'm going to send them on the 30th of the month. I'm going to send them a payment we'll send them €1,300. Okay, so just come down, whatever the amount is, pop it on the line into the payment field and save. And the last thing, we'll throw Bob a few more pound on the 20th of September. And we'll pay Bob, we'll give him €14,500 and save. Okay, so they are the main transactions. So we've dealt with setting up our customers, our suppliers, our products, and our nominals. Then we dealt with our opening capital piece, and then we dealt with setting up our invoices that our customers bought goods off of us. So we dealt with all of those. And then we subsequently went on to dealing with our invoices for goods that we purchased, and then the types of money that came in and out of our bank account. The last two things that I want to just look at here is in terms of payments for the likes of petty cash. So if I click on petty cash, I am going to make a bank payment. And again, you can enter these one after another. You'll see that because we had this account highlighted here, it defaults into the petty cash. So on the 1st of the 9/25, we purchased whatever it was. So let's look at sundry. Okay, so sundry expenses, 8250. So we bought tea and coffee for €25. Now, sometimes there will be VAT on these. Most times there won't. So if there's no VAT, you can just say that it's a non-VATable transaction, T9. I'll do one more, 1230, the 15th and the 9th. And again, we'll see what this relates to. So if we do repairs, if such an account exists, yeah, repairs. And we'll say that this was €60 and there was VAT on it this time, but it's goods not for resale. So 23% goods not for resale, 1380. Okay. Occasionally, I'll just do one more. Occasionally, you may get a transaction that comes in. I'll just stick this into sundry again, and it says it's €100 inclusive of VAT. Okay, so in this case, the VAT is 13.5%. So it's 100 inclusive of VAT. And you see what the system is doing here. It's in 100 plus VAT of 13.5%, and it's given us a total of 113. I want it to be 100 gross. Okay, so I pop in the net amount, I pop in the VAT amount, VAT code, the VAT rate, in this case 13.5%, and I say calculate net. Okay, I see it brings it back net, and it tells me that it's 8811 net with VAT of 13.5%, so 100 in total. So I save. Okay. Now you see we did an awful lot of spending out of our petty cash account this month, and we only have €1.20 left in our account at the end of the month. So to find out how much I need to move from my current account to my petty cash account, I'm going to need to move, was it 198.80 or something like that. But to confirm the amount, I click on the petty cash account and I go up to activity. And I see here, I started off with €200 in my account. I spent a couple of items during the course of the month. So in total, I spent 198.80. So I'm left with 120. So I need to move 198 from my current account to my petty cash account in order to bring the balance back up to 200. So to do that, I click once on my bank account to highlight it, and I say bank transfer. I'm saying to it, from my current account 1200 to my bank account petty cash 1230 on the 30th of September, we want to move 198.80. And we say save. You see in the background there, my petty cash account now has 200 and my bank account has been reduced by that 198. Okay. The last thing that we will do is make payments for the likes of rent and salaries out of our bank account. So to do that, we just highlight our bank current account and we say bank payment. Okay. So again, from bank account 1200 on the 30th of the 9th, we're going to say we'll find the nominal code for salaries. And it's really important that you fill in a nominal code. You see there's an asterisk beside it, but it's important that it's the correct code. And I'll show you why that's relevant in a second. But if we do something like salaries, now the numbers that I want you to use will always be listed in your question, but I'm just showing these here for to put something into it. So on the 30th of September, we had salaries, and we'll say we had salaries of 15,000 euros. Again, it's going to be no VAT on the salaries, so T9. And you see the net amount is 15, the overall total amount is 15, and the tax amount is 0. I'll do one more. We'll just do rent, the 14th and 9th, and I'll just find rent here, if it exists. Okay. And again, we'll do rent of 10,000 euros. And again, it's going to be T9. Okay, and save. Okay, so those are all of the typical transactions that you're going to have in the course of a question. Now, you'll have more volume or whatever in an exam or an assignment question, but that's just to kind of give you the overview of the various screens. So to check our reports then, I'll do that in a separate video. So just give me 2 secs.